Jordan Lilly puts boot to ball. We're up and away. The fourth instalment of Friday Night Fever. Local pride, local bragging rights on the line as two old rivals meet under the Friday night Odsal floodlights. Bradford against Halifax. It just rolls off the tongue, and it is Halifax with first use of the ball, and immediately they're looking to put pressure on some of Bradford's big middles by using their big forwards to come down the middle of the field. They are going to kick, or they're going to run early. It's a bit of deception there from Jack Hansen, the former Sheffield man. He runs it 5 shy of halfway, 40 seconds gone. We do have syndicated coverage on West Yorkshire Radio and rugbyleague.com this evening. It is Mick the Game Caller Gleddle, Friday night championship action here at a colourful, vibrant Odsal Stadium, and it's going to be Bradford who play the ball just outside their own 20-metre line with Jaden Okunbor. Wonga Blake, tackle 2, 10 metres shy of halfway. Lilly to Gill. Gill fronts up, but look at that hungry, suffocating, black-shirted Panthers defence there. Adam Tangata, the Cook Island international, leading the Halifax defensive charge. Luke Hooley to Doro. Doro, one of 3 former Halifax men in this Bradford side this evening, as Lilly goes direct down the middle to Bayliss. Bayliss 5 metres inside the Panthers half of the field. Referee Ryan Cox, left arm raised high. He says that's the last. It'll be Lilly to Keys. Composure from Keys there. Composure from Saltonstall. He takes that one under no real pressure. And 2 of those 3 former Halifax men, G and Doro, wrap up. One of the former Bradford men, James Saltonstall, there certainly said this one, Derby day, Derby evening, local pride. It's going to be physical and intense. And it, of course, carries an extra layer of importance to the supporters of both clubs. Well, it is round 20 of the championship. At half-time, we're going to focus a lot more on what happened on Monday and what's about to happen on Wednesday at Oldham, when the Championship and League One clubs meet to decide the fate of what happens with those 2 competitions. Certainly change is in the air. Halifax on halfway. It's going to be Lewis Shoufray, boot to ball. He will target Okunbor. Okunbor takes that 10 away from his own line, a couple of metres in from touch on the far stand side. And here at Barricade Odsal, 247.tv for those joining us on the stream. Also those who are joining us on West Yorkshire Radio and rugbyleague.com and Bulls TV in the future. Bradford have lost the ball behind their own try line here now with Tom Holmes, who floats it to Armitage, who's made a meal of it, and Halifax nearly come up with a try. So we mentioned patience, we mentioned composure. Bradford a little bit scatterbrained right at the start of this game. There was no real need for Bradford to do that. And when you listen to Brian Noble's expectations, you know, he wants the effort areas, he wants them boxed, he wants them ticked off, he wants that same attitude in defence, which delivered a strong second half showing at Widnes, where they conceded just 2 points on Sunday gone, did the Bradford Bulls, but they've come up with the first.
Shot clock off.
Guy Armitage forced to concede a goal line dropout after that error, and now it's going to be Halifax who will look to turn the screw here. Early doors here, if you're just joining us. Both sides at full strength. Both sides just making a change. Bradford against Halifax. As Halifax go over on that left-hand edge, they go probing, but the error has come from Dejan Sambu. Referee Ryan Cox saying there was a forward pass in that flowing move. Brandon Douglas, who started his career, his life out in the Bradford Bulls Academy. What a season Brandon Douglas is having, what an impact he's having for Kyle Eastman and the Panthers. Bradford certainly will know about his strengths this evening. So, Bradford managed to escape that early error that saw them concede the goal line dropout. Lawrence plays it and he's lost the ball, Michael Lawrence. He's appealing for a penalty, but referee Ryan Cox is going to say the Bradford Bulls captain, with all that experience, has just dropped the ball cold. So 2 quick errors here from the Bulls. It's put them under immense pressure right at the start of this game. As we said, Friday Night Fever Part 4. Bradford back home after having kept the pressure on Toulouse and York with that gutsy 28-16 win on the road at Widnes. Halifax also showing gutsy characteristics in that narrow defeat here at Odsall last Friday night against the York Knights. So Halifax from the base of the scrum, they move it over on this right-hand side and they're 5 metres out now. That was a good run there from the Panthers. Jouffre goes in an acting half. Hansen has it. Hansen will give it to Bradford-born Zach McComb, who's on his 19th appearance of the season, and he's 5 metres out underneath the post. Adam O'Brien moves it on that left-hand side to Dixon. Dixon's 2 metres out now. Lilly had to go low with Hooley. And Halifax with a tackle remaining after this. It's going to go from Hansen to McComb. Good goal line defence early doors here from the Bulls. 4 gone. Still 5 metres out, just to the right-hand side of the post. It's going to go from Calcott to Hansen to Jouffre. Tangata draws in 3 Bradford defenders. Last tackle. There's a little bit of space here for Halifax to exploit. O'Brien goes himself into the in-goal area, but there's too much on that kick from Adam O'Brien. And it will be a 20-metre restart for the Bradford Bulls. We've had 4 minutes gone on the clock here. Tangata driving the ball forward. And you just felt there was a bit of space where the posts were rather than on the short-hand side. So they will have that extra tackle, will the Bradford Bulls. Adam O'Brien, a former Bradford man, made 109 appearances for Bradford over 5 years, scoring 28 tries. He's in his 300th career appearance this evening. So Adam O'Brien certainly doing well in his career post-Bradford. Bradford over halfway here with Zach Fulton. Fulton's brought down 8 metres in the Halifax half. We've had 6 minutes gone here now as it's going to go Michael Lawrence driving down the middle of the field. Centre field for the Bulls here. Lilly goes towards Bayliss. Bayliss is inside the 20. And now referee Ryan Cox says that's the last for the Bulls as Tom Holmes kicks towards the corner. Holmes, was he taken out? Referee Ryan Cox has a look. But Bradford have forced the goal line drop out. But somehow Saltonstall put his body on the line there. He helped his teammate out, Zach McComb, and now Bradford are going to put some pressure here with the Halifax Panthers. Captain Ben Crooks playing the ball. Well, he's just down receiving a bit of treatment here in back play, but Bradford have Halifax hemmed and penned firmly inside their own 20-metre line as G and Lawrence rush up there, bringing down James Saltonstall. Is told to go back and play the ball on the field. 4th tackle gone. Lewis Jouffre realises Bradford on top defensively. As we said, the Bulls very nearly forcing a goal line drop out there. And that's good defence from the Bulls. It forces Lewis Jouffre to kick early in the tackle count. Hooley returns it to halfway. Okunbor to Blake, and Blake now on tackle 2 is 10 metres inside the Halifax Panthers half of the field. 3rd against 7th. Bradford can go top with a landslide win this evening. Don't think that's going to happen, but a win will move them above Toulouse. As Lilly now goes towards Keys inside the 20 to Hooley. Hooley no look pass. He's saying that might have just come off Charlie Graham. Officials say no. It's gone straight through the hands from Hooley into touch. It's a 3rd error from the Bulls. We've had 8 minutes gone here at Barricade Odsall. Bradford Bulls no score. Halifax Panthers no score. Well, Brian Noble mentioned pre-match pitch side, same as Kyle Eastman. Both coaches looking for a professional performance this evening. It's all about building that momentum in these big business blockbuster end of season fixtures. 6 games to go, and history shows and tells Brian Noble and Kyle Eastman that with this being a derby occasion, both sides will have to be at their best to get a result against tough opponents, tough opposition this evening. So after that Luke Hooley error, Halifax up to their own 30-metre line. Just shy of 10 minutes gone here. Still scoreless. Both sides having a spell of pressure, a spell of possession on each other's lines and both coming up with errors. Well, Brian out of acting half, tackle 4, once again to Jouffre, the former Whitehaven man, kicks into space. Hooley has to stop that one from going into touch, didn't want to concede a 40-20, and that's good kick chase defence there from the Halifax Panthers. Bradford now are going to be moving the ball from their own try line. As tackle 2, we'll see the former Toulouse man, Guy Armitage, carry Bradford 10 metres upfield. They're inside their own 20 just about. Hooley now to Okunbor. Brian Noble praised him pre-match on Wednesday at the weekly press conference, saying he made over 250 metres, helping Bradford's cause in that result on Sunday gone against the Widnes Vikings. Halifax have had a couple of days extra advantage as Lilly kicks early on tackle 4. He's done well there as Ben Crooks to keep the ball in the field of play. Lilly did exceptionally well to keep that the right side of the touchline as Halifax returned the ball 5 shy of halfway. What can the Panthers do here? David Nofaluma, second carry. With 10 minutes gone, up to halfway. Here goes Saltonstall. Bit of a hush here. That will please Kyle Eastman and the Panthers. That tells you this large Bradford crowd, they've not had it their own way. The Panthers coming to frustrate, as Aribi Doro is going to be in trouble here because he's taken Jack Hansen out off the ball. It was a late tackle from the former Halifax man, Aribi Doro. He protests to referee Ryan Cox, saying that it was perfectly timed, but the St. Helens official, he immediately raised his arm out, indicating that Aribi Doro was in a spot of bother. Halifax awarded their first penalty of the evening. It's 25 metres out, just to the left-hand side of the post. And with 11 minutes gone, Kyle Eastman wants the kicking tee out on the field. Well, it was George Whitby who was kicking here last Friday night when Halifax went down by 19 points to 12. So Louis Jouffre will hand over the goal kicking to Jack Hansen, who missed that game at the Shea on Good Friday, you might remember, because of the birth of his first child. I guess if there's any excuses, becoming a parent, becoming a father is right up there. Kick predictor turned on for the first time this evening after some Bradford ill discipline has put them under pressure. It's saying 67%. It's 28 metres out from the Bradford post. This to see Halifax take an early 2-point lead, which they do. 12 minutes gone, Bradford 0, Halifax 2. First blood to the men from the Shea in this West Yorkshire derby. I'm sure the message is coming on from both Brian Noble, from both Kyle Eastman. It is derby day, it is going to be physical, it is going to be intense, there is going to be that heightened aggression, but that heightened aggression needs to be controlled. So Jordan Lilly gets the restart back underway. Hansen takes it 10 out from his own try line as Brandon Douglas carries it in there on tackle number 1, a fresh set. It's a repeat set from the Panthers as Okunbor very nearly intercepts a loose pass there. Butterfingers from Okunbor. The enticement was there. He went for it, very nearly took it in, and that would have been back-to-back intercept scores. As it is, Halifax Panthers, they will have head and feed at the scrum, and a chance now here for Halifax after that error there from Jaden Okunbor. Well, if anything, Jaden Okunbor certainly disrupted that pass that was heading over towards Ben Crooks. O'Brien out of acting half. Saltonstall now 20 shy of halfway, centre field of the Panthers. Had that great unbeaten start to life in 2025, 6 from 6, you might remember. And they're on halfway here with O'Brien. A quick play of the ball. McComb, Lawrence and Bayliss wrapping up Zach McComb. He's 10 inside the Bradford half of the field as Will Calcott goes down the middle. He's wrapped up on the last. It's Bradford 0, Halifax 2. Ball's going to go to Jouffre. He kicks and targets Okunbor. Box kick there from Jouffre. You can see the tactics already from Halifax. They're going to try and negate the threat of Jaden Okunbor. Wonga Blake in that left-hand corner. We've had 14 gone. Atmosphere here, very, very tense, very subdued on Derby night. Blake will play the ball 10 out from the line. Gill has it centre field. The importance of the bench could be crucial this evening as Holmes now looks for willing runners, finds one on the diagonal from G. G spent a couple of seasons at the Shea with Halifax. He's wrapped up just outside the 20. Aribi Doro goes down the middle of the field, and that'll be the fifth and last tackle. And Halifax have restricted Bradford to just 25 metres on this set. Birthday boy Hooley will kick towards Saltonstall on this main stand side. The former Warrington man in his testimonial year at the Panthers, he will move the ball in centre field, and he's wrapped up 5 shy of halfway, tackle 1. David Norfoluma, the former West Tigers, Melbourne Storm man, 10 metres inside the Bradford half, tackle 2. The Panthers just bossing possession and territory here in the opening quarter. Still a tryless opening quarter, just the boot of Hansen the difference as Jouffre now moves the ball on this right-hand side now with captain Ben Crooks, and he's wrapped up tackle 4, 2 metres in from touch, 10 away from the Bradford line. Holmes and G, the 2 Bradford defenders. McComb has it inside the 10. Last tackle here for the Panthers, leading 2-0. 5 metres out, O'Brien to Hansen. They move it on the left with Jouffre. Jouffre kicks into the in-goal area, and Halifax are going to claim a try here with the Cook Island international Adam Tangata, and they have extended their lead here at Odsal Stadium. 16 minutes gone on the clock. Adam Tangata, the 34-year-old, his third spell at the Halifax club. He scored the match winner against Batley a couple of rounds ago. And it is the Cook Island international who has latched on to that kick on the last tackle. Hansen along the line, left it went to Jouffre. Hooley and Okunbor, they couldn't get there in time. And Adam Tangata using all that experience there to just sneak up behind Jaden Okunbor. And it's 6 points to 0 as we head towards the end of the first quarter here. So 17 gone on the clock. 247.tv, Bulls TV, West Yorkshire Radio and rugbyleague.com. As always, we are syndicated around the world, around the globe. Kick predictor here for Jack Hansen. It is at 72%. This to take Halifax out to a 2-score lead here at Odsal. Friday night fever. Well, the Panthers have come here with purpose, and they are bossing the possession, the territory and the early chances. Bradford 0, Halifax 8. The try from Tangata, his 5th for the season, converted by Jack Hansen. 2 from 2. Well, Brian Noble might just be a little bit concerned as we get the restart back underway. Bradford did start similar, in similar vein, against Widnes on Sunday gone, and certainly against big, tough physical sides like Halifax on Derby evening. You've got to roll your sleeves up. You know it's going to be a tough evening under the floodlights. Halifax on the restart now with Tangata wrapped up there by Keys. Okunbor Blake is heading towards touch, puts the handbrake on. Referee Ryan Cox says held. They're nearly up to halfway already here, the Halifax Panthers. Dejan Sambu, they say Tellens, dual reg player, 19 years of age, making his 4th appearance this evening for the Panthers, as Doro has to go straight for the legs there on a rampaging Will Calcott. They're on the last tackle. They're going to kick towards the corner. Okunbor takes that one on his own try line. and he did well to put the handbrake on, but look where Halifax have box-kicked the Bulls, and Kyle Eastman will be absolutely delighted with how his side have started this game. We've had exactly 28 minutes gone on the clock. It's Bradford 0, Halifax 8. It's round 20 of the championship. 5 games on Sunday. Batley Featherstone, Doncaster Hunslet, London Barrow, Sheffield Widnes, York Oldham. We'll be covering the game at Mount Pleasant between the Bulldogs and Rovers. That's Batley against Featherstone. John Keir against Paul Cook. What a game that should be. Here at Odsall, a scoreless first quarter for the Bulls. Just struggling perhaps a little bit to wrestle some of this ascendancy and momentum from the Panthers as David Norfoluma rolls back the years, gets the ball up and over halfway. Jaden Okunbor comes in, forces the error there from the St Helens youngster, Dejon Sambu. He made his debut for St Helens earlier this season against Warrington. He'll make that shock move from St Helens to Wigan next season. But that was good tracking back in defence from Jaden Okunbor. A second error from Kyle Eastman's side, just up and over halfway. And you just saw there what David Norfoluma can do. Don't forget, he was a former Dally M Award winner back in 2020. Some absolutely eye-catching scores in the NRL back in Australia, David Norfoluma. Bradford have the ball, 10 shy of halfway, on their own 40. Hooley, man of the match performance against Widnes last week. It's a very, very slow ruck that is being policed here as the ball goes out the back from Doro. Tackle not complete, picked up by Lilly. It's a little bit scattergun, scatterbrain stuff here from the Bulls. We've got 18 to go to half-time. Eben Skurs come off the interchange bench for Logan Bayliss, one of 2 homegrown players from the Bulls Academy out there on the field this evening as it goes from Keys. And they're 12 or so metres out, just outside the Halifax 10-metre line with 2 tackles to go on this set. Keys has it, the former Halifax man. Along the line to Holmes, to Lilly. Lilly towards the line. Can he get the ball down? Lilly's lost it over the line. Try will not stand, but the referee, Ryan Cox, has given Bradford a penalty here because a Halifax player has now taken out Luke Hooley. So Luke Hooley, he's down receiving the medical treatment. You can see there, Keys to Holmes, Holmes to Lilly. I beg your pardon, it's Kieran Gill actually who's getting up there. They're both good to go. Hooley and Gill both back on the feet. Jordan Lilly very, very nearly getting the ball down for what would have been try number 8 of the season. So a repeat set of 6 here for the Bulls, right on top of that Halifax try line. They trail by 8 points to 0. It's going to be Lilly now to Holmes. Holmes shows his effervescence. He's dilly-dallied left and right, gone central, and he's wrapped up there on tackle 2. Bradford have it now with Keys. Keys floats it to Hooley. They think the space here. Hooley boots a ball. Hooley recovers. It's come off a Halifax hand. It's Jack Hansen, say the officials. So the tackle goes down. Tackle resets. Bradford on tackle 1, 5 away from the Halifax line. It's not pretty viewing, as I'm sure the viewers watching this on the stream will attest. Tom Holmes wins a set restart now. This will be a 3rd full set Bradford have on that Halifax line, and a real good test of Halifax's defensive resolve. Lilly now to Skir. Skir has 5 Halifax players holding him up. O'Brien, one of those. Skir, quick play the ball, and Doro crashes over. Aribi Doro, he brings that directness to Bradford's forward play, and he has just eaten up yardage. Devilishly difficult to stop. No one was stopping Aribi Doro on that powerful run towards the Halifax post. Bradford 4, Halifax 8. Aribi Doro against his former side. We mentioned pre-match he might need to manage the emotional side of things with that heightened expectation. In the end, 2 penalties, a set restart. Halifax in the 24th minute, their defence has buckled under the weight of pressure and possession from the Bradford Bulls. Well, Jordan Lilly 2 from 3 with the boot last week. He's on 49 from 64. Luke Hooley stepped up in that second half and was 3 from 3. And if you actually look at both Lilly and Hooley, Lilly's taken more, but Hooley has the better kick percentage return. Kick predictor here at 100%. It was a well-worked move there from the Bradford Bulls. Aribi Doro takes a well-earned rest off the field. Doro will enjoy that one against his former club. Lilly goes out to 1 from 1. 25 gone on the clock here. 15 out from half-time. Bradford Bulls 6. A strong response there from Brian Noble's side. Halifax Panthers still in the lead. Pleasing Kyle Eastman 8. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, 247.tv. A big week in the world of rugby league with the Super League clubs deciding that they want to expand and go to 14. And Lewis Jouffre now probably wants the Hudsall pitch to expand because he's kicked out on the full. So 3 quick penalties now to the Bulls, and Halifax just imploding a little bit under the barrage of Bradford's physicality and intense pressure. Well, you've got to say, first quarter, it was nothing like a composed, settled approach from the Bulls, but they're building into this game. They're playing smart, and Halifax now know they have to try and break this Bradford attack down as Evan Skerr carries Bradford 10 metres out. Are the Bulls about to go back-to-back with 2 tries in 2 minutes? Lilly along the line to Keys, to Holmes, to Michael. The former York Knights man's wrapped up 2 metres out from the Halifax line. Back it's going to go to Keys, just outside the 10. Bit of a dancing feet move there from Keys. Draws in the Halifax defence, floats it out to Okunbor, but Okunbor no real room for movement or manoeuvre. Hooley has it now, centre field. To Holmes, to G. G's inside the 10, the former Halifax man right on top of the Panthers line. Bradford 6, Halifax 8, last tackle. Keys has it, crossfield kick, looks for Blake, looks for Okunbor. Okunbor back to Blake, and Blake's in at the corner. Joe Keys against his former club. He's the heartbeat of this Bradford side, and it was his kick to Okunbor. Okunbor palmed it back to Blake, and Wonga Blake, the Fijian international, he had early success in his career at the Penrith Panthers. He has crossed in at the corner, and just like that, the Bradford Bulls have 2 tries in 2 blistering minutes. Bradford 10, Halifax 8. It was Holmes to G. G's just taken ever so slightly. There's 5 defenders all compacted with G. That has left Halifax exposed over on the right-hand side. G plays it to the left-hand side of the post, and you can see there's more white shirts of the Bulls than black shirts of the Panthers, and it's 6'6" Okunbor who palms it back to his inside centre, Wonga Blake, for an eye-catching score. Bradford Bulls take the lead here at Hudsall. 28 minutes gone on the clock. Jordan Lilly, a difficult touchline conversion from that far stand side. Well, I think Kyle Eastman will be a little bit disappointed with his side's effort and application there in not being able to deal with that run from Matty G and then leaving themselves exposed over on the far stand side. It's a tough evening for Dejan Tambu and Charlie Graham as Lilly sees his conversion attempt drift across the face. It is not over by a long shot. It's still tight and tense here at Hudsall. Bradford 10, Halifax 8. Well, we had the fireworks, the pyrotechnics pre-match. We've just seen a little bit of a symphony of try-scoring bursts from Doro and Blake. This time the restart from Halifax stays in the field of play. Rugbyleague.com, West Yorkshire Radio, 247.tv, Bulls TV. Bradford 10 shy of halfway. Special mention this evening to Darren Hardacre, who's watching and listening live from Australia. He's a big Bulls fan as Lily's up and over halfway. Halifax just having to scramble back, you feel here. They can't concede a third consecutive score as Holmes enters the Halifax 20. Last tackle here now for the Bulls. G's behind Holmes at acting half, 20 metres out. It's going to be another crossfield kick from Keys, looking to find Blake. Blake palms it back. And Dejo Sambu, he's done well, the St Helens youngster, to react quickest to that one. And he's tackled there by Hallis and Michael. Just a quick recap of those games on Sunday. Batley against Featherstone, the game we're covering. It's Doncaster Hunslet, London Barrow, Sheffield Widnes, and York against Oldham. What a game that should be at the LNER Stadium. York, 11 consecutive wins. What a season the Knights are having under Mark Applegarth. And don't forget Toulouse. They have the rare bye-week break. Some of their players have been in a beefer party, and if you look at social media, as Halifax on the last tackle. Good kick there from Lewis Jouffret, just inside the Bradford 20, but he was outside the 20, was it? Bradford will have the ball. No, they won't. Halifax are getting the ball here. Lewis Jouffret is given a 40-20. Well, Bradford protesting. It looked like he just kicked it outside the 40, but it definitely entered Bradford's 20-metre line. So Bradford just a little bit asleep there, you feel. 9 to go to half-time. Bradford 10, Halifax 8. They've not been down this part of the field for 15 or so minutes. And it's going to be Jacob Fairbank there, who's wrapped up, who's just come off the interchange bench, the 35-year-old. They're going to go the direct route here. But that's good defence there from Eben Skur on Liam Cohen. Now it's going to be Jouffret inside the 10. Halifax looking to score, but Wonga Blake slams the door shut. Real live wire stuff there. David Norvalumak calling for the ball on that occasion. Here's Tangata who has it. He's just going to run it in and draw some of those Bradford defenders away from the line and the edges. Last tackle. Halifax 5 out in front of the post. Crossfield kick from Hansen, but Guy Armitage takes that one. He stood tall there, the former Toulouse winger, centre. And now Bradford come attacking from their own try line. Tackle 2 gone here. Kieran Gill in possession. He's wrapped up there. Mike Owen. Tom Inman also just coming off the interchange bench for the Halifax cause. So both sides rotating the interchanges. We've got 7 minutes to go to half time. Zach Fulton leaves the field, or should I say Zach Fulton comes back on the field for Michael Lawrence. Matty G wrapped up there, 10 shy of halfway. Good response in defence as Keys is forced to kick from deep inside his own half. On the full, taken by Saltonstall. Had a lone spell at the Bulls back in 2014. He'll return the ball 15 shy of halfway. Here goes Ben Crooks. Eben Skur and Kieran Gill in defence there, doing a real good job on the former Hull FC, Hulkinston Rovers, and Keighley man Will Calcott calling a bit of a tailspin there, up to halfway, centre field. 6 to go to half time. Bradford 10, Halifax 8. As Lewis Jouffret moves the ball along the line, but Eben Skur, whether he's on the right edge, the left edge, He's putting a big defensive effort, is Eben Sker. And now Halifax are told to take the tackle in front of the Bradford post, 25 metres out, because someone ran behind someone. So it's going to go back to Hansen under pressure from Michael. He targets Armitage. Armitage, body check there by Saltonstall. Wrapped up there by Fairbank and Crooks. There's a little bit of afters there. You're just seeing that fiery passion from a big championship derby here. As we said, heightened aggression, but it has to be controlled. Hooley just pins the ears back there. There was a little bit of a half break, half chance for the former Wakefield Castleford Leeds man. Bradford on their own 20-metre line. Keys acting half to Fulton. And Zach Fulton's done well there. He's carried Bradford 10 shy of halfway. 20 metres made on that run. Hallis to Holmes, back to Hooley on this left edge. Fairbank wraps him up. Last tackle for Bradford on halfway, and Holmes has gone for an almost Hail Mary style play. He's a one-man band chasing his own kick, but David Norfoluma skips past him. Norfoluma skips past Sker, and he's finally brought down there by Michael and G. Well, you can't give David Norfoluma that much room and that much movement. Heading towards the half-time interval here. Just 3 tries in this first half. 2 points separating these fierce West Yorkshire rivals. Saltonstall held in the tackle under defensive pressure from Michael and Hallis. And that's the first set restart that Halifax have received this evening. So they're up and over halfway with a tackle count back to 1. What can the Panthers do here? Well, we mentioned it's Adam O'Brien's 300th career appearance. It's Eben Sker's 100th appearance in the red, amber and black of the Bulls as Louis Jouffre plays it to Hansen. Hansen inside the 20, quick play the ball. Inman and acting half, the former York man goes to Jouffre. Sambu has it into the in-goal area, chasing his own kick. Hooley with work to do. Hooley gets it to Holmes. Holmes has a foot on the dead ball line, and that will be a goal line dropout, the second one that the Bulls have conceded in this first half. He did well, did Hooley, but the officials are saying part of that body was on that dead ball line. Bradford 10, Halifax 8. And you can just see here what the St Helens teenager does. Chases his own kick. Was the other bit of a shirt pull there from Wonga Blake. In the end, the St Helens official has seen Dejan Sambu, his kick, his inventiveness rewarded with a repeat set. Bradford have to try and defend this one. We've got 3 minutes to go to half-time here at Odsal. Saltonstall plays it, tackle 1, and now it's a penalty to Halifax because Sam Hallis is penalised. It was a sloppy, scrappy play the ball. The officials are going to say that Sam Hallis did not clear the ruck. And with 2 to go to half-time here, this could be the final act of the first half because Kyle Eastman has sent the message down to Jack Hansen. We will have 2 points potentially. Joe Keys just having a word in the ear of Ryan Cox. As we said earlier on, he's one of the new referees in that RFL match officials development pool, gaining that vital experience in the championship. 3rd appearance in the middle of a Bradford game. The last time he was in the middle, Barrow came here in round 4 and shocked the championship with an 18-8 win against the Bulls. So, with seconds to go to half-time, kick predictor turned on. It's around 45 metres out. Hansen to draw the Panthers level with the Bulls, which he does. Bradford 10, Halifax 10, 60 seconds out from the interval here at Odsal. We might just be going the distance this evening, just like we've done so many times this season already. And all of a sudden, after Bradford largely bossing possession and territory, Halifax have drawn level. And you've got to say, it is absolutely the very least they deserve, because they have put the Bulls under so much pressure this evening. Bradford just having that sort of purple patch spell where they went back-to-back through Dorrow and Blake. So we're back underway here. We're in the final 10 seconds of this first half with Jacob Fairbank carrying the ball just outside the 20-metre line. The hooter's about to sound, it's imminent, and there it does. 40 minutes are up here at the end of the first half. No cheap turnovers. You've got to respect the ball. You've got to respect the opposition. Bradford, to be fair, it's got to be an interesting second half. There was just 4 errors to 3 in that first half. Bradford, though, coming up with those 4 errors inside the opening quarter. Halifax go a little bit short there, but it's taken by Hulick. Tackle 1. Friday night under the floodlights here at Barnacard Odsall, 247.tv, West Yorkshire Radio, Bulls TV, rugbyleague.com. We have got a game of rugby league on our hands as Eben Sker carries the ball just shy of halfway. Eben Sker, one of those players you feel would be on that journey into the Super League should Bradford be successful on either the gradings table or the Lord Jonathan Kane application process. But this is a strong start to proceedings for Brian Noble and the Bulls. They're just outside the Halifax 20 on the last. Keys, high hanging kick taken there by Graham. Graham trapped in goal, but he's put the handbrake on. Referee Ryan Cox says the ball is on the line, and you could see there on the vision it was just in the field of play. The crowd don't like that decision, but it's perfectly correct from the St Helens official. But Halifax, have they just delayed the inevitable, come what may, because 3 tackles gone. They're only 10 metres out from their own try line as Fulton fires into Fairbank just outside his own 12-metre line now as it goes from O'Brien. They move it over on that right-hand edge, and they're just outside the 20 on the last. So a very good defensive effort, a strong, astute defensive effort from the Bulls. Jouffre with the black scrum cap, kicks down to Okunbor. Okunbor from his 30. Jaden Okunbor, 15 tries now. Scored a couple at Widnes on Sunday, including that interception score that ultimately sealed the win in the closing minutes of that one. So 2 minutes gone at the start of the second half. 10 points apiece. Bradford's second possession, and they're 35 metres out now from the Halifax line, left to centre field. They're going to drive it in down the middle here with Hallis. Hallis doesn't quite fancy taking on the defence, moves it along the line to Hooley. Hooley to Blake. Blake's wrapped up inside the 20. Couple of tackles left here for Brian Noble and the Bulls. Can they get an early try right at the start of the second half to ease and calm the nerves? Lay that platform for victory. The 15 out, centre field, on the 5th and last. Keys once again kicks towards Armitage and Gill. And Halifax do concede the goal line dropout this time. Pinpoint accuracy there from Joe Keys. He has forced the dropout from Saltonstall. Bradford will get that deserved repeat set of 6. Well, it is the 4th instalment of Friday Night Fever. Certainly looking like being Bradford's biggest crowd of the season. Brian Noble highlighting the importance of what he calls the Bradford Army and how they could potentially inject that enthusiasm and that endeavour. Lily out of acting half. Morona Michael tackle 1. Eben Sker tackle 2. 100th career appearance for Eben Sker. Just outside the Halifax 20. Hallis to Keys. Fulton scored a late score here against Halifax last season in a 29-10 win. He'll play it 10 metres out. Holmes back to Sker. Skers rolled over at the side of the post. Tackle 4. 1 to go here for the Bulls. We've had 3 minutes gone right at the start of this second half. Hallis head down, tucks the ball in, rolled over. Good defence there from Douglas and Cohen. Bradford on the last. Lilly to Keys to Blake. Blake to Okunbor. Try 16 of the season for Jaden Okunbor. Huge yardage meters. And it's now 8 tries in his last 4 games. That was rugby league poetry there from the Bradford Bulls. The passes just rolled off their hands like Shakespearean words. Bradford 14, Halifax 10. Quick play the ball, Lilly to Keys, missed out Fulton. And who said Odsal does not have room or space? Jaden Okunbor had a couple of metres either side there. A lot of space for the former Canterbury Bulldogs winger to touch down right in at the corner, unopposed, 14-10. Just the tonic Brian Noble would have wanted right at the start of this second half. Bradford's 3rd score of the evening. And it's a big one, a crucial one. Jaden Okunbor, the 28-year-old Australian, he signed the new deal alongside Mitch Suter to potentially go on that Super League journey with the Bulls next season. Well, when these two sides met in round 7 on Good Friday, there was 5 ever-presents. Wonga Blake, James Meadows, Jordan Lilly, Zach Fulton and Ronan Michael. Well, they meet here in round 20 and there's still 4. James Meadows, as we know, having to wait patiently as 18th man. But Wonga Blake, Jordan Lilly, Zach Fulton, Ronan Michael, they've played in all 25 of Bradford's competitive games this season. Lilly from the touchline, it's just going to creep in. A spectacular touchline conversion from Jordan Lilly. And it is Bradford Bulls 16, Halifax 10. It was on the last tackle, on the power play. Look at that cut-out ball from Keys to Blake. 3 Halifax defenders left like statues. And Lilly, he goes out to 2 from 3. 16-10. Right at the start of this second half. West Yorkshire Radio, rugbyleague.com, 247.tv. This, the standalone championship fixture this evening. Well, we'll talk about what happens next week in the games we're covering a little bit later on, but we're back here next Friday night for Doncaster's visit here. And we're also back here on the Sunday. Sheffield Eagles, the visitors to Odsal next Sunday to face Halifax at their temporary home while the Shea Stadium playing surface beds in a brand new 3G synthetic playing surface. Hallis up and over halfway, now to Holmes. Holmes wrapped up 25 out, tackle 4. Referee Ryan Cox discouraging Halifax to get back the 10. Keys will target Saltonstall on that far stand side. Saltonstall does well, but no sooner as James Saltonstall take that one from the air. Kieran Gill, Guy Armitage immediately get the all clear to take the tackle. Well, as we said, when both sides met on Good Friday at the Shea, it was a proper rugby league contest. Super intense, super physical. That heightened aggression. And it's certainly here in abundance at the start of the second half. We've had 7 minutes gone. Bradford getting that early second half score, just like they did against Oldham here a fortnight ago. Halifax on their own 30-metre line on the 5th and last tackle. So they will kick with Jouffre. It's a little bit of a wobbler, but Okunbor takes it on the full, floats it in field here now to Hooley. Oohs and ahs from the crowd. They've interpreted that one as a little bit of a risky one, but there's certainly a lot of endeavour, a lot of tenacity from both sides' defences. They're both making each other work incredibly hard to post the points. And already you feel, as we head towards the 50th minute here at Odsal, you almost get a feeling that if Bradford do go on and get a fourth try. Halifax with a bit of work to do. Lily up and over halfway, inside the 40, inside the 30, wrapped up like a rag doll. 10 to the left-hand side of the post. They go short side with Holmes. Hooley just runs the ball in, and that's last tackle here now for Bradford. He'll play it just shy of the 20-metre line. Keys once again. We've seen Halifax box kicking. Keys box kicking. Halifax lost the ball. Bradford have recovered possession, and now Bradford have it. Referee Ryan Cox says first knock on from Halifax. So Bradford will have the ball. Joe Keys forcing Halifax their 5th error of this game. And it will be a repeat set of 6 for the Bulls after that error from James Saltonstall. And it's a rampaging Ronan Michael who's brought down on top of the Halifax line. It's Lily to Skur. Skur twisting, turning. He's brought down just to the left-hand side of the post. Halifax have forced the error from Lily. Well, Jordan Lilly's going to say the Halifax defence was not on that try line. They've all rushed up. But Jordan Lilly simply has to do better there. He's got to respect the ball. Not seen Mitch Suter come on the field just yet. He's on the touchline, on the sideline with Michael Lawrence, Logan Bayliss. But it's been a bruising start to the second half. 10 minutes gone. Halifax with an error from Saltonstall. Lily with the error. And now it is 5 errors apiece. West Yorkshire Radio, 247.tv, Bulls TV. Mick the Game caller Gleddle, Friday night under the lights, Championship Rugby League action. Adam Tangata nearly had the ball pinched by Blake, but at the 11th hour coming in was Jaden Okunbor, and he decided against. It's going to be Ben Crooks, the 32-year-old. Sorry, apologies, it's Charlie Graham with possession. Graham plays the ball, now in centre field with Cohen. Along the line it goes to Jouffre. Gills touched that. Crooks has it now, and Crooks is up and over halfway. Halifax having a little bit of impetus. They've got a bit of ascendancy here. Fairbank down the middle, wrapped up there by Michael and Lily. Oh, the officials say last tackle. They'll say Kieran Gill did not touch that ball in flight. Hansen gets the kick away on the last. Hooley, mid-air collision between him and Armitage. And he's gone down here, Luke Hooley. On his birthday of all days, he's put his body on the line, Luke Hooley. As we said, he's one of those players who will quite happily put his body on the line and play through the pain barrier. Jordan Lilly leaves the field. Mitch Suter, who we said was warming up, comes on as Bradford have thrown the ball inexplicably into touch, but did it come off a Halifax man? The touch judge says no. Scrum to Halifax. Oh, big decision here from the touch judge and referee. Wonga Blake protesting with the touch judge on this main stand side. Adam Tangata gives the Fijian a little cheeky pat on the back. And with 12 minutes gone in this second half, Bradford, a quick fire double error. That will play things into the hands of the Panthers. Well, both sides bring that added intensity through the forward pack. Both sides pretty much at full strength. And it's just going to come down, you feel, as Bradford try to force the Halifax man into touch on the far stand side. I was just going to say, you do feel it will come down to the organisation and the execution of the two spines. Bradford 16, Halifax 10. We've got 27 and a half minutes to go here. They're inside the Bradford 20 with Fairbank, Hansen, Tangata. Calling a bit of a tailspin there by the Island international Ronan Michael. Bradford defending diligently on their own try line here. Fairbank. Chance to Jouffre. They've got numbers of Halifax, but they've took the wrong option there. They wanted to keep the ball moving from left to right, not step back on the inside like they did there, but it is a quick play of the ball, and they're going to come down the middle with Brandon Douglas. Douglas rolled over. That's the fifth and last. Bradford 16, Halifax 10. Inman to Fairbank. Fairbank's coughed the ball up with the line begging, and the chance gone begging there for the Panthers. A 6th error from Kyle Eastman's side. You got to say, there was a couple of plays before Brandon Douglas was wrapped up underneath the post, where they did have the numbers. They were certainly calling for it. On that far stand side was Ben Crooks and James Saltonstall. So Bradford 16, Halifax 10. Just ask the York Knights how tough it is to come here. Came here earlier on in the season. It was a last-minute score from Scott Galliano in the corner. That tipped that one in their favour. And last week, they were trailing 6-0 on the hour mark before a couple of scores from Ben Jones-Bishop tipped that one in favour of Mark Applegarth's side. Here goes Mitch Shooter up to halfway. This is where that fatigue, that tiredness, the energy levels, they all play a part in this one. Holmes out of acting half. It's going to be Skur. Big 10-metre ray. Tackle not complete. Offloads the ball to Holmes. Holmes with movement and pasture in front of him. Puts the double fend on Hansen. Holmes wrapped up 20 metres out. They're on the last tackle, Bradford. It's going to go back to Keys. Keys once again kicks towards Okunbor. Okunbor palms it back. Fulton twisting, turning, can't get the ball back to Okunbor. The back row forward for the Bulls, Zach Fulton, in his efforts to get the ball out the back. He's come up with the error on the last tackle. Bradford 6th. And you've got to say, you've got to praise the reaction and the speed of reaction from that Halifax defensive line there to react to that pass that went back on the inside to Zach Fulton. It certainly looked, for all intents and purposes, that Zach Fulton was going to cross for try number 9 of the season. The Australian, a try scorer last week, or Sunday gone, against the Vikings. Well, believe it or not, we've had 16 minutes gone of this second half on West Yorkshire Radio, 247.tv, Bulls TV. And it's still Bradford 16, Halifax 10. They've got a very, very small buffer. Will Calcott's on halfway for the Panthers, on the last, centre field. Jouffre targets Okunbor again, and Okunbor rolled over there. Good defence from Charlie Graham, Adam Tangata. Well, we've mentioned the impact of the bench. Halifax, the extra 2 days rest may have an impact later on when both sides are fatigued and tired. But I think Brian Noble will be absolutely delighted with Bradford's effort and application in this opening quarter of the second half with that energy that they're applying. But they've only got the one try, and they're up and over halfway here. Mitch Shooter wriggling around on the floor. Officials say play on, and Brian Noble's just gone to the cage and unlocked the cage, and out has come Aribi Doro. He's back on the field for his second spell, and Bradford on the last. Back to halfway. Keys, high hanging kick. Soldenstall, body on the line. G and Gill wrap up. Once upon a time, the former Bradford Bulls low knee. Michael Lawrence also coming back on the field for the Bradford Bulls. Charlie Graham, the former Hull FC, and Keithley man wrapped up there by Doro and Blake. He's on his own 20-metre line as Tangata takes a little bit of a tumble. So Halifax trailing by 6. Small, tight margins here at Bardacar Odsal. Hansen, Jouffre, Halifax away with Crooks, back on the inside to Sambu. Lawrence will wrap up Jouffre. He's 10 inside the Bradford half. They are on the 5th and last tackle, so Hansen calls for it on the last tackle. It's a bit of a wayward crossfield kick. That's gone into touch off Charlie Graham. It's an error there from the Panthers. It's come on the last. And it remains Bradford Bulls 16, Halifax Panthers 10. Well, we're slowly heading towards the hour mark here at Bardacard Odsal under the floodlights. We've mentioned those gutsy displays, we've mentioned those good characteristics, we've mentioned the endeavour, the tenacity. You won't expect anything less in a big West Yorkshire derby. Bradford now up to halfway with Fulton. Deon Sambu there in defence with Lewis Jouffre as Aribo Doro ends up with it. And the Hulkeston Rovers loanee runs about 20 metres lateral, doesn't really get any forward momentum. Here goes Michael Lawrence. This is much, much better here from Halifax. Bradford have had 3 tackles now and they've gone behind where they played it originally. Suter goes scooting, sniping out of acting half. Rolled over in the tackle by Fairbank and Tangata. They're on the last, 10 inside the Panthers half. Keys sends one downtown for Norfoluma. Takes it there under pressure from Blake and Hooley. And David Norfoluma gets the ball out the back door, and here's a chance for Charlie Graham, who skips past 1, past 2. And it's small moments like that that do matter, because tackle 1, rather than being on the Halifax try line, Graham has carried it up to the Panthers 20-metre line. Ben Crooks, tackle 2. 20 shy of halfway. We've just hit the hour mark here. The final quarter of a tight, tense West Yorkshire derby. We will say the words. Ladies and gentlemen, we are going the distance this evening at Bardacard Odsal. Round 20 of the championship. And we've just seen the tension, the pressure get to James Saltonstall. He gets a pat on the back from Zach McComb and Jack Hansen. These are coach killing errors from the Panthers. An 8th error from Halifax. And James Saltonstall with no real pressure. He just lost possession. Well, Adam O'Brien, as we mentioned, a great career, a great rugby league servant. Started his career here at the Bradford Bulls back in 2009 under Steve McNamara. He made 109 appearances for Bradford over 5 years before leaving for the Huddersfield Giants. Chance now for Bradford, you feel, to try and put this one to bed. We've got 18 minutes to go, and they're 20 metres out now on tackle 1 with Kieran Gill. Michael Lawrence, a real captain's knock once again from him. He's brought down 10 metres out, left of centre field. It's going to be Suter to Keys, to Holmes, to Hooley. Holmes has been taken out here by Tangata. Tangata's in a whole heap of trouble here. Holmes has gone down. It's going to be a penalty, you feel, to the Bradford Bulls. A crucial moment in this game. The touch judge has come on the field, and Ryan Cox has got a big decision to make. Is it a penalty? Is it more than a penalty? Tangata absolutely cleaned Tom Holmes up. Referee Ryan Cox will give himself a lot of thinking time here, the young St Helens official. He'll stop the clock and he'll come and take a report from the touch judge, which he has done, and is now going to talk to Adam Tangata here with Adam O'Brien in earshot. I think he might just give the Cook Island International the benefit of the doubt here. He will keep Halifax at 13. Boos and jeers. Jordan Lilly's off the field. Luke Hooley has kicking tee in hand. And a chance now for Bradford, you feel, to do what Halifax did right at the start of this game this evening. The Hansen penalty, the Tangata score, they led by 2 clear scores, 8-0 after 16 minutes. And with just 18 minutes, 4 seconds to go on the clock here at Odsal. A chance for Luke Hooley to take the Bulls out to what could be a crucial 2-score buffer. Kick predictor turned on, 15 metres out, 15 or so to the right of the post. Adam Tangata penalised for taking out Tom Holmes. The kick predictor says 82%. Luke Hooley 3 from 3 with a boot against Widnes. He nudges the Bulls in front. A 2-score lead here with 18 minutes to go. Bradford Bulls 18, Halifax Panthers 10 at Odsal Stadium. Under the floodlights, Friday night fever. The anticipation crackling in the air on the terraces. Penalty count for those that like to know. Bradford 5, Halifax 2. 247.tv, Bulls TV, West Yorkshire Radio. Mick the Game Caller Gledel. No rugby league tomorrow, but we're at Mount Pleasant on Sunday afternoon. Another big West Yorkshire derby. Batley Bulldogs and John Keir. They will wait and host the Featherstone Rovers. Well, I'm kind of guessing any Featherstone fans listening or any Featherstone supporters watching this one tonight, they'll probably are cheering on the red, amber and black of the Bulls, because a Bradford win stops Halifax going back in the playoffs this evening. And after this weekend's games, there will be just 5 to go. Well, on the restart, Bradford have received another penalty. Adam Tangata guilty again, hands in at the ruck according to Ryan Cox, tonight's big match referee for this one. And this now is an opportunity for Bradford to put this game to bed. 17 to go, Hooley ball in hand. Bradford will have a full set 20 out from the Halifax line. Halifax's last win here was Good Friday 2022. You might remember Jacob Fairbank dismissed after just 20 seconds by referee Nick Bennett. Halifax winning that one, 20 points to 17. Here goes Aribi Doro inside the 20 on tackle number 1. 3 Halifax defenders turn him over. O'Brien, Inman. Also McComb involved in that one. Hallis to Keys. Keys takes the line on. He's wrapped up 8 out. Tackle 2. Bradford leading Halifax in the second half, 8 points to 0. And we've got 16 minutes to go here. As Sam Hallis loses possession. As Suter picks up, recovers and goes underneath the post to score. Try will not stand. Referee's whistle already went. Hallis just bobbled that ball on his chest into the chest of Will Calcott. Bradford's 7th error of the evening. Well, Halifax now will be looking at game management, clock management, scoreboard management. They have to chase the game, just like Widnes did at this stage on Sunday. Bradford equally will be looking to play smart and build a winning lead into this game. Have they done that already? Halifax have proven so far real tough to break down, especially down the middle with those big physical forward players. Will Calcott, Brandon Douglas, Jacob Fairbank. A lot of firepower there for Kyle Eastman of the Panthers, but they have to chase the game, you feel. We're inside the final 15 minutes. Tangata's got it for the Panthers. 12 shy of halfway. O'Brien at acting half. Now to Inman. To Jouffre. And Aribi Doro and Mitch Suter going through a mountain of work there. Louis Jouffre, the French international, well, he's gone down the cul-de-sac there and he can't get out because he's just met Aribi Doro head on. And from the last tackle, Halifax boots a ball on halfway. Okunbor in this main stand corner. Well, Dejan Sambu, the youngster from St Helens, he will link up with Matty Pete and the Wigan Warriors next season. A lot of youthful exuberance there for Kyle Eastman to use and build on. As we said, Halifax are back here at Odsal next Sunday as Kieran Gill's caught high now by Tom Inman. Well, it's Will Calcott as well. It's all flared up here. Tangata's gone in for Hooley. Aribi Doro's in the middle there somewhere. And referee Ryan Cox has got to sort this one out. Well, you can just see at the top of your picture, there's a bit of a bromance going on there between Matty G and Louis Jouffre. They've got each other in a loving embrace. But Kieran Gill is down, receiving medical treatment. I think Will Calcott's in a lot of trouble here. because Will Calcott went above the shoulders on Kieran Gill and then he carried it on afterwards. We'll wait and see what the officials do. Clock is stopped here with 12 and a half to go. Kieran Gill down on the floor on his back. As we said, it's not been a dirty game, or there's not been too many discipline issues from both sides. I don't think what helped the situation there was after the high tackle from Calcott, with Kieran Gill now potentially facing a head injury assessment with the Bradford Dr. Donald Young out there on the field. But certainly Halifax are gonna be just feeling and sweating here. Well, Ryan Cox. He's called out the captain, Ben Crooks. He's called Will Calcott with him. Are the Panthers going to go down to 12? Are they going to lose a man? They are. Will Calcott sent to the sin bin here for a high tackle on Kieran Gill.
That's the call. That's the call, Ben.
Well, that's one of the loudest cheers of the night at Odsall. The local Halifax man, Will Calcott, been at Halifax since 2017, and the 27-year-old homegrown player for the Panthers, he will miss out the final, or should I say, he'll come back on for the final 2 minutes or so. Bradford 18, Halifax 10. You've got to say, fresh after Adam Tangata took out Tom Holmes, Ryan Cox probably had that incident fresh in his mind, and Logan Bayliss back out here on the field, tackle 2, Bradford. They're looking for that sucker punch as Suter finds Doro down the middle. Doro inside the 20, brought down just short of the 10. Bradford hunting a 4th try, a try that would cement victory against their West Yorkshire rivals. And who knows what might happen. This might be the last Bradford-Halifax league meeting for quite some time if the stars align for the Bradford Bulls, as Mitch Suter is wrapped up on top of the Panthers line. They're on the last tackle, Bradford. The lead 18 points to 10. All the pressure on Halifax to chase as Keys along the line to Hooley. Holmes to Kieran Gill. Oh, it's a spectacular, breathtaking, acrobatic dive from Kieran Gill, one of the consistent try scorers in the championship. He has topped Bradford's try scoring charts in each of the last 3 seasons. 18 in 22, 21 tries last season and in 23, and it was a last tackle power play, Tom Holmes. Halifax down to 12, remember there was space on the edges, and Kieran Gill, he's chasing Jaden Okunbor. Okunbor's on 16 tries, Kieran Gill's now on 14 for the season. The former Castleford Tigers man made 4 appearances for the Tigers in the Super League. He has just rubber-stamped this win for the Bulls. We've got 11 or so to go. And with Halifax down to 12, a very, very costly error and lack of discipline from Will Calcott has punished the Panthers. So a 4th try, a second in this second half, 22 points to 10. Luke Hooley will attempt this conversion 10 metres in from touch and take about Kieran Gill just moments after being caught high by Will Calcott. He has the last laugh. Hooley, the birthday boy, gets another 2 points. Bradford running riot here at Odsall now in the closing moments. 10 minutes to go. Bradford lead by 3. Bradford 24, Halifax 10. Halifax are going to go short, you feel, here on this restart. They've got to try and get the ball back. They've got to try and chase the game. This has been a very, very strong, tenacious second half performance from the Bulls. And Halifax do go short and they do get the ball back. And here goes David Norfoluma inside Bradford's 20-metre line. We've got 10 minutes to go here at Odsal. 10 minutes for Halifax to try and show a response under the floodlights. This is now where Bradford are going to have to muscle up. This one's not over. Simply cannot afford to switch off as Fulton, ball and all on Jouffre, wraps him up 10 metres out. O'Brien on his 300th career appearance. He runs it in out of acting half. He'll play the ball, 5 away. Dead set central. Inman now to Jouffre. They're going on that right-hand edge now with McComb. And Zach McComb, a Bradford-born player for the Panthers, looking to score against his hometown club. Ball's gone behind everybody here. Hansen has it, but Jack Hansen can't really do much with that ball there on that one, and that's the last tackle here for the Panthers. So they went short, they got the ball back. Well, he's calling for the ball is Charlie Graham on this left side. They go right here, looking for Saltonstall, but Guy Armitage, that aerial advantage, being 6'5", he has done that one. As Bradford now move the ball out of their own 10-metre line after that kick there from Jouffre on the last. Well, the party in the background and the cheers are, this is Bradford's highest crowd of the season. Just under 5,000 here in attendance this evening for Friday Night Fever Part 4. So a big, big crowd here for this one. And they'll be delighted with the second half showing from Brian Noble's side. First quarter, it took a little bit for Bradford to wake up and get going, but as Brian Noble always says, they did look comfortable at times. Bradford on the last tackle, 10 shy of halfway. Keys under pressure there, gets the ball away. Norfoluma underneath this one, the former Melbourne West Tigers man. He'll take this from his own 20, straight into that Bradford welcoming committee of Ebenskirt. Well, the forwards don't get enough praise, and Ebenskirt has really tackled his heart out. He's made bulldozing metres down the middle. We've got 8 minutes to go here. There's been some strong performances across the park from the Bulls, as we said. Aribidoro, Ebenskirt, real adrenaline bursts of a player who really carry teams forward, carry teams places they've never been to. Bradford 24, Halifax 10. Will Calcott still got 4.5 minutes in the sim bin. They're on halfway with Douglas. Now to Jouffre. But once again, Bradford tracking as Woodburn Hall floats the ball back on the inside, and there's a chance here for Charlie Graham. Wonga Blake wraps up Charlie Graham. Joe Keys comes in and finishes off the tackle. Last tackle here for the Panthers. Game on the line. Bradford defend this the home. Well, Aribidoro's absolutely clattered Lewis Jouffre, and here goes Guy Armitage. Armitage brought down by Inman and Tangata. And that's going to be a play the ball here from Guy Armitage, 15 out from his own try line. Well, it's certainly getting a little bit lively out there on the field. Kieran Gill in possession for the Bulls. What a try that was. Wait till you see that one on the highlights reel as Matty G breaks clear. Dragged down by the shirt coattails, and now here goes a rampage in Ebenskirt. Well, Bradford now going over the advantage line at will. Well, you've got to say, Kieran Gill, man of the match contention, so to Ebenskirt. And here goes Kieran Gill again. Well, he's on the last tackle, Kieran Gill, playing the ball, 15 out from the Halifax line. Is there more points left in the Bulls' tank as Keys goes to Holmes. Holmes kicks forward. Ball's picked up and Armitage is in. It's another error from the Halifax Panthers that will gift the Bulls 4 points. game, set, match to the Bradford Bulls. It has been a masterclass second half performance from Brian Noble's side. Tom Holmes on the power play on the last. He went straight down the touchline, Saltonstall. He knew nothing about that one. He wasn't expecting the delivery, and that allowed Armitage to play off the back of that error from Saltonstall. Well, Saltonstall's just promoted the ball forward into the arms of Guy Armitage. It'd have been better off pushing it in to touch over the sideline. A 10th error from the Panthers, 28 points to 10, and we've got 5 minutes left here. Well, that will be all she wrote in this West Yorkshire derby. Bradford will make it 3 wins on the bounce. They will host Doncaster here next Friday, and it all depends on what happens on Sunday. York Knights against Oldham, what a humdinger that's going to be from the LNER. Score updates when we cover Batley against Featherstone on Sunday afternoon. Bradford will move up to second in the championship table this evening, and the significance of that is Bradford now control, or will control, their own destiny. Bradford still have Toulouse to play here at the end of August, and what a game that promises to be. Don't forget, you can watch all these games on the live stream. You can listen on local radio with West Yorkshire Radio. But most of all, importantly, get yourself to Odsall Stadium. So, Guy Armitage, try 12 of the season, number 12 of the season. And Luke Hooley with the kick predictor at 63%. He converts from the touchline. It's a perfect 4 from Luke Hooley. 4 from 4 with a boot. Bradford Bulls 30. Halifax Panthers 10. This biggest crowd of the season at Odsall chanting Hooley. Bradford are up to second in the table. 5 tries to 1. Brian Noble will be absolutely delighted with the endeavour, the effort levels, that tenacity that we mentioned. His coaching staff of him and Lee Greenwood really do get the best out of the people, the players. And it is party time here at Odsall. Listen to the noise here from this record crowd. Their biggest of the season as Aribi Doro goes down the middle, bounces off 1, bounces off 2. We've got 3 to go inside the final 3 minutes here. Eben Skur once again, a big adrenaline burst down the middle, and he's up to halfway here. Well, there's been some strong standout performances this evening. Eben Skur will definitely be in man of the match territory. So too will Luke Hooley. But I think just edging it for his metres and yardage made, and the fact it took that absolute bell ringer from Calcott, and then just moments later was on the end of that Tom Holmes grubber kick into the in-goal area. Kieran Gill, the man of the match this evening. So, 60 seconds left here. 60 seconds to go. Bradford up to second in the championship table. This is going to be a big momentum boosting win for the Bulls, as Halifax now have possession, 25 shy of halfway. Anything from the Panthers now will be consolation, as David Normaluma cannot get past Matty G. He's wrapped up, and a chance here for Bradford to have one last say, you feel. They've got the ball with Tom Holmes, but he will have to come back. I think that will be all she wrote. Referee Ryan Cox will stop the clock. Halifax on the last tackle. They moved it over on the edge there with Ben Crooks and Saltonstall looking to expose Gill and Armitage, but in the end it touched Tom Holmes' hand. It went forward. He recovered possession, and he's now kicked the ball over the Halifax dead ball line with 9 seconds, 8 seconds to go. This will be the final act of this game here this evening. Bradford 30, Halifax 10. Certainly the first quarter there was a few gremlins for the Bulls to sort out, but since really the 4th minute of the second half, when Jaden Okunbor crossed in at the corner, they've been in cruise control. Hooter sounds, Halifax from the scrum, kick to the corner. The biggest cheer of the night as referee Ryan Cox puts whistle to lips. He indicates it's all over. Full time here at Bardacar Odsal. Bradford building momentum at the business end of the season.